Welcome to the Madanis on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kesmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Pressure group Arise Ghana warns U.S. government that failure to extradite Ken Ofori-Atta to face justice in Ghana may embolden current occupant of public office not to account for their stewardship when they leave power. We'll bring you more as a U.S. immigration court is set to determine fate of embattled former finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta, who is currently in an ICE detention facility. Much later on the program. And if you know that song, you know who is behind it. Legendary Ghanaian gospel musician and founder of the Asamafo gospel group Yaw Sapon has died. Very much for joining us this afternoon. More than 50 makeshift structures serving as shops and boats at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange area have been gutted by fire. Firefighters and youth groups are enduring a Herculean task to extinguish the inferno as accessibility to the fire base remains a challenge. The business hub is counting losses as the fire rages on. Stanley Nibleo is my colleague. He's currently on the scene. He joins us live on the phone. Stanley, if you can tell us what we do know currently about this fire.
Yes, so I must say that this is the second time in 3 weeks that this aspect of the trading hub or the commercial trading hub at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange area has been gutted. Initially, 3 weeks ago, a similar incident happened where fire service were called in quickly. They responded swiftly to douse the fire. But today, as I speak, the incident has recurred, and this time around, it has aggravated. The fire is still raging. And so the Ghana personnel from the Ghana National Fire Service who have been deployed to come and douse the fire have been experienced as doing so. Currently, part of the arena or the place that is being currently gutted by fire have been dealt with, but a section of the shops have also is also underway being dealt with by the personnel from the Ghana National Fire Service. But I'm also acknowledge the fact that there are also youth groups here who are also helping to douse the fire. And because this has been a commercial hub, there are lots of phone shops here. I must indicate that the phone shops have been salvaged. However, the shops that have been affected are shops that people or other traders have been cooking and selling in them. And so this morning when it came, people realized that there are some of the chop bar owners who actually have boiled their cassava ready to pound and then sell as fufu. But currently as we speak, the fire has gutted all their wares, their food, their soup, everything have been destroyed by inferno. And so they are currently counting their losses. But the Ghana National Fire Service are also working assiduously to make sure that they will manage the situation and then make the place safe for all.
I can imagine, but Stanley, if you can paint a picture for us how wide and massive this fire is, although we know that immediate area.
Yes, so when you're talking about the intensity or how wild or wide this fire has actually stretched to stretch in this area, I must say that initially you put forth about 50 structures, but when you actually assess the situation critically, you could realize that the figure or the number of shops that have been destroyed by the fire goes beyond the 50 figure. Even though the Ghana National Service is yet to tell us the actual cause of the fire, they are preliminary investigations are pointing to the fact that the people who have been cooking here at the shops could have been the cause of the fire. We actually had a number of people trooping in, the MP for Ayawaso Central, because this very jurisdiction falls within the Ayawaso Central constituency. And so the MP for this area had been here. And when we tried to engage him, what he said was that they cannot immediately tell the people who have been sleeping and cooking at this commercial hub to immediately vacate the area. But what they could do is that after the situation has been addressed and harm has been dealt with, they are going to engage them, and then voluntarily they will be asked to evacuate from the area. But for now, they cannot, because most of them have been affected, they cannot take the law into their hands and they ask them to just evacuate the place. They must put human face to what has happened.
Indeed, fantastic report there. Stanley Niblo, thank you very much for bringing us that. Now, if you're following us on Facebook, we're also showing you the destructive visuals, as it were, of the fire in Seko. Well, let's hear from the team lead at the far scene, ACFO2 Kwame Nsiao, who spoke to us earlier.
Let the fire finally extinguished. Hydrants around GRA, Kukumlemle, our national headquarters too, there are hydrants there, so that's where we are going for the water. We have 5 fire engines here, including a private tanker. Some have gone to replenish about 2 or 3 times, and they are safe, yes. So at least averagely, if it's even 333 times 5, we talk about 15. Oh, we are told that it started from a kiosk. We are here to investigate what was going on in that kiosk before the fire erupted. So we are told, and we've been confirmed, that it started from a kiosk. But as to what caused the fire in the kiosk is what we are here to investigate further.
And you have the ACFO2 Kwame Nsiao, who is the team lead at the far scene currently at Kwame Nkrumah Seko. Let's bring you a first headline about the former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, who is scheduled to appear before a United States courts today, Tuesday, the 20th of January, following actions taken by U.S. immigration authorities over his legal team. Right here in Ghana, a group, Arise Ghana, is picketing the U.S. Embassy, asking that the U.S. Embassy helps the government of Ghana to extradite Ken Ofori-Atta. Christian Yale is speaking to our sister station TV3 and interacting with the leader of Arise Ghana, Bernard Mona. Let's go listen to exactly what he's telling him.
When we told Ken that, well, since you have publicly said that the IMF cannot be the solution to our problems, the IMF cannot deal with you as a confident person, Ken decided that he would not go because he cannot abandon his children in the midst of chaos. Today, the same children are saying that, Daddy, our inheritance, we want to know where they are. And the man is running away from us. We were told that Ken was sick. We were told that he is there to take care of his health. All of a sudden, Ken is now healthy. And Ken doesn't want to come to Ghana. Ken wants to now permanently stay in the United States of America. Take this from me.
But his lawyers have made a case that so far he has cooperated very well with U.S. authorities, and it's not a matter of he evading justice.
No, what could he have done when you are in the grips of the authority? You are in the grips of the authority. Will you be shouting? The shouting will amount to nothing.
What do you want done right now? What is your urgent?
See, if Ken is not returned to Ghana, then we are finished as a nation. That will become a very dangerous ground for anybody that occupies public office to steal state resources, and then a day to the swearing of a new president, you leave the shores, and then you are giving amnesty in a new country to enjoy your loot. So if that becomes a case, it will become a terrible ground for us. And I'm saying that after Ken has left, Atuforsen is Minister for Finance and Economic Planning. Should Atuforsen learn from Ken's terrible record, if he's to learn from Ken's terrible record, it means that we are saying that to forcing. Right. Also start stealing, also start empowering your family, give state resources to companies that belong to your family, and in the end, when there's a change of government, just pack your things and go to another country and you'll be saved.
Thank you, Bernard. So that is the urgent need. I'll pick a few thoughts from you. You first. Joining this protest, you are seated on the floor right now. What do you want done right now? What do you want to see to make you happy?
We want Ken back. We want Ken to face the law. We want Ken to account for his work as a minister of state.
Thank you. But what about you?
My name is Apostle Abraham Lincoln. I staged the one-man demonstration against the OSP for his removal. And I also say that in my petition, I said the OSP has demonstrated bad faith by seeing the man going without calling people to arrest him.
Was there something the OSP could have done?
Yes, but it's the appointment of Chief Justice. We are waiting. Now, so it's in line with what they are doing, so I have to show my support. Ken have to calm down. Listen. Sometimes when I look at some pastors hiding, I look at them and say, are you helping this nation at all? Man of God, speak, come out. How can somebody loot the nation, go and lodge somewhere, relax, enjoy himself with people? What kind of life is that? So my demonstration is in line. So I just followed them down home. I will not sit at home. I'll also join them. All right. Though my own was a one-month demonstration, but I'll join them because we need to bring Ken straight. And we see when we bring Ken, I'm telling you, as Akufo-Addo, we found wanted. Some of them, I'm telling you, take it from me.
All right.
So as Akufo-Addo, President Akufo-Addo, as president, he will find wanted.
All right, thank you.
What's the name will be mentioned.
All right, thank you. So Kamini, right?
And you had Christian Yale bring us update from the U.S. Embassy. He's interacting with the protesters from Arise Ghana who are currently picketing the U.S. Embassy right here in Accra, urging that the U.S. government ensures that Ken Ofori-Atta is extradited from that country to Ghana. Well, ahead of that protest today, and I did tell you earlier that Ken Ofori-Atta is also expected to appear before a U.S. immigration court. Ahead of all of these, Ghana's ambassador to the United States, Victor Emmanuel Smith, told us that he had been told by the former minister's counsel
extradition of
that Ken Ofori-Atta was unwilling to return to Ghana to answer corruption charges against him over how he thought he could be treated. He spoke earlier on key points.
I had a call from Gabi Otridako. He expressed that worry. And I assured him that he will have to go through the due process. I mean, everybody goes through a due process of law. So there's not going to be like, people are not going to attack him. We don't behave like that. He and that Ken himself,
understanding that
by his own doings, being evasive with the OSP arrest, have created this brouhaha around his case. So that is the point. So don't let nobody get me wrong. It was not my own view. It was a view expressed by Gabi Otridako, who is a relative of his. He made a call to me, and I said, I wanted to have an opportunity to assure him that he would have to go through the due process like anybody else goes through the due process. So that anxiety, fear and everything was expressed by Gabi.
And you have Ghana's ambassador to the U.S., Victor Emmanuel Smith, but Vice President of Imani Africa, Kofi Bento, said that the former Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, is not in Ghana, not because he fears the charges leveled against him.
I know that Ken would like to come back, but he's apprehensive about how he'll be treated because of the kinds of things that have been said and done in the past 1 year. And look, let us all, step back and be sober about these things. We all want accountability, okay? And if we are going to believe what Ambassador Smith is saying, then Ken himself wants to come and clear his name. And Ofori-Atta is apprehensive because somebody thinks that the day he steps into this country, he will be locked up in a cell and the key will be thrown away. If you are Ken, or if Ken is your brother, or if Ken is your father,
You have the Vice President of Imani Africa, Kofi Bento. Let's hear the response of the government spokesperson, Communications Minister in charge of Communications, Felix Kwakye Ofosu.
That Ken has no difficulty coming, except that he is worried about about how he will be treated.
You don't believe it?
I don't believe it.
Why?
You see, it is a contrived excuse. Because I will assess Ken by his conduct, not by his words. Everything he has done here shows that he's been trying to evade justice. That is all. The man has tried to evade justice for a year or so. Yeah. So, near say so by himself or people close to him that he would like to come, but he is afraid of how he will be treated, does not cut eyes with me. Number two, what has happened in this country that is so extraordinary in terms of how we treat persons accused of crime that Ken Ofori-Atta is afraid of? What has happened?
And you have Felix Kwachiofoso, he's the minister in charge of government communications. Let's go to the U.S. Embassy. Return to that embassy here in Accra. Christian Yale is still interacting with some more of
the American,
protesters.
because everything is down. But if they don't bring him down, no, we can't accept it.
You can't accept it. Kemini, so those are the actual concerns.
Christian Yale there, returning to studio really after his interaction with protesters of Arise Ghana currently picketing the U.S. Embassy in Accra, demanding that Ken Ofori-Atta is brought back to Ghana. And talking about the immigration and the fact that he is set to face the immigration court today, the minority has been addressing issues regarding the U.S. temporary ban on immigrant visa for some 75 countries. My colleague George Quaining is at that press conference. He joins us live on the line. George, what can you tell us about what the minority is saying?
So, Beatrice, thank you so much. And so this is a press conference that was held by the minority, and it was actually led by the deputy ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament, Nana Asafo-Aye. And their stance is so clear that the reckless posture of the current Foreign Affairs Minister, Tongoluku Joto-Ablakwa, has led to this diplomatic war against Ghana and the U.S. And he feels this is a ministry that is all over social media. Things that should be said indoors is exposed on social media. And so they feel he's not a competent person. They hailed the good works of previous, foreign affairs ministers like Anatete, among others. And so this one, who is Tongoluku Joto-Ablakwa, is reckless in his utterances, is reckless in everything that he does, and is actually engaged in diplomatic illiteracy. And so the president should actually sack him and put a competent one there. He also talks about the current Ghana's ambassador to the U.S., that's Victor Smith, is also not a competent person, and they expect the president to recall him and fix someone better there. So these are the demands that the minority is asking.
Thank you very much. And Heather George Quaining, my colleague, currently following that press conference by the minority, of course, talking about the U.S. banning Ghana in terms of immigrant visa and 75 others, and also the issue regarding Ken Ofori-Atta and the earlier comments made by Ghana's ambassador to the U.S., Victor Emmanuel Smith, claiming or saying that Gabia Sarah Chidako, who is a relative of the former finance minister, had called him regarding the apprehension of Mr. Ofori-Atta concerning his return to Ghana. Now, residents and workers who commute between Tema and Afienya have expressed excitement and commended the government for the operation of the Tema Mpakadan rail line. Commuters say the train service has eased their daily journeys and reduced the stress associated with road travel. However, they're calling for extended operational hours to enable afternoon and late shift workers to commute without going through the usual difficulties. Joseph Armstrong is on board the train interacting with some of the commuters.
This is the rail services from the Tema. How about here heading towards Afienya? And this, we are told, has come as a relief for many workers that commute between Afienya to Mataheko and other communities all the way to the Tema and continue to Accra. Sometimes, we are told this indeed has helped many. If not, many of them would have gotten home at least after 8 p.m. due to the traffic on the road. But with this, in the next 30 minutes or so, many of these passengers you see here will be at their destination. Let me talk to a few of the people here and see how the services has been like so far. Tell me your experience.
Oh, it's very nice, very good experience. So everything is cool. We are cool now.
Before the coming of this train, tell me how you move from your house, how you get to work, and how you get home. The number of hours you save for yourself.
Sometimes 4 o'clock.
You move 4 a.m.?
Yeah, a.m. Maybe by 6 or about 7 o'clock before I reach my website, Tema.
So compared to this?
Oh, this one, we are very, very cool now. Cool. Everything is cool.
And the pricing?
Oh, the price, it's okay.
That's 15 cities?
Yeah, 15 cities. It's okay.
You are from Tematek?
Yeah.
So you have to leave from Tematek and come here?
Yeah, I'll leave Afenia to Tema every day.
Okay, so tell me your experience.
Well, it has been a great ride for me since I started school. I always use it and it's very comfortable and reliable too. We always come and take it and the cost is so good for us.
So this one is good.
This train, we are told, is supposed to be full to the capacity of about some 120, but as it stands right now, approximately you can count at least no less than 200 to 300 people who boarded this train, with many of them standing. So those who are currently seated now, just about some 120, and each person gets to pay 15 cedis flat rate regardless of where you are going.
And you heard there a report by Joseph Armstrong. He was on board the train earlier. Well, responding to the concerns of commuters, the Deputy MD of the Tema Mpakadan Railway Project, Albert Amankwa, said management has taken notice of the concerns and will address them appropriately and immediately.
The fueling of the train itself is very expensive. And then the vision of the president, at the same time, the CEO, is ensuring that passengers are respected with a moderate fare that needs to be charged. But honestly speaking, when you look at the marine fuel that we put in this train, it is not ordinary diesel. It's very expensive, and it is bought in dollars. You see, so as a matter of fact, when you have to calculate, then it has to be not less than 20 cedis or 25 cedis.
But as it stands now, it has been subsidized.
Yes, and how can the government subsidize this? This is a project that the president himself is carrying out because the former president, initiated it. So for ongoing purposes, they have to subsidize, one way or the other to ensure that everything goes on very well. But to be honest with you, as for the fare, it will be changed very soon. The target is not mainly for Afenya alone, but it's for Adomi, which the marketing team is working out day in and out to ensure that whatever process needs to be done as early as possible so we can get the capturing. Because either than that, then it means that we are running at a loss.
Albert Amankwa is the Deputy MD of the Tema Mpakadan Railway Project, speaking to us earlier. And still on transport, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, is currently in a meeting with its welfare executives in the Greater Accra region to plan the reintroduction of identification tax for commercial vehicles following concerns over unapproved fare charges by floating drivers. The planned meeting comes after the Ministry of Transport announced that transport unions had agreed to reintroduce identification tax for commercial vehicles to help regulate the sector and curb fare abuses. And we'll bring you some more as in when we have the latest update from that meeting. Meanwhile, the Transport Ministry says it has reached an agreement with transport operators on a work plan aimed at addressing the current transportation crisis. Speaking to the media after a prolonged meeting, Transport Minister Joseph Bukari Nikpe said the measures, once implemented, will significantly reduce the shortage of buses and curb the charging of unapproved fares by drivers, especially during rush hours. The minister added that he is relying on relevant authorities to support efforts to clear street traders and decongest major roads to improve traffic flow.
From mid-December to date, we have experienced a lot of long queues and we have gone through a lot of pain. It has been a worry to government and, for that matter, the ministry and all the unions. And we started engaging. The unions themselves and us sat down, asked ourselves, what is the problem in our transport industry? What is causing the unavailability of vehicles? And we have identified a lot of operational areas that we need to tackle. And so we have identified all the sectoral areas and a work plan to follow. The good is that the unions themselves are prepared to lead in the discipline of their colleagues to ensure that there are no more any floating drivers or vehicles on our roads, to make sure that they bring all of them to the terminals to load our people, and if there is need to create any system somewhere that buses will move in to help move people from one point to another, the unions are prepared to do. And so they've agreed that from hence they are going to reintroduce what they call the identification tax or stickers on all vehicles. So if you see any vehicle, you will know that this vehicle belongs to this union and it is not at the terminal and it is doing the floating activities and charging unapproved fares. They've also agreed that they will put themselves in the same task force to ensure that drivers comply with the agreed fares that we, the Ministry of Transport, and the unions agreed to in May last year. They have assured us that there are some Tata buses that they are going to make available to ensure that they will also come in to help move our commuters from work to home or from home to work.
And you heard the Transport Minister, Joseph Bukari Nikpe. Now, the Judicial Service Association of Ghana, JUSAC, has suspended its indefinite strike pending the implementation of the payment plan by the government. JUSAC was demanding the payment of salary arrears owed to its members. JUSAC had earlier urged that the reason for or actually argued that the reason for the strike was the repeated lack of action from the government after numerous engagements with the Ministry of Finance. In some other news, a political historian at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Samuel Adu has asked the New Patriotic Party to prioritize electoral viability over internal loyalty as it prepares to elect a flag bearer for the 2028 presidential election. He says the party must be interested in a candidate who can secure victory at the national level and withstand political attacks from the opposition. National Democratic Congress. Drawing on research conducted with colleagues, he reviewed that studies involving non-partisan groups indicated that public opinion towards the NPP remains divided.
The NPP should be interested in the one who will bring them victory. They should be interested in that individual who cuts across. That individual who would not be, open enough to be jabbed to receive an uppercut from the NDC. So between candidate Baumia and candidate Kennedy, these two have emerged as the topmost candidate. Electoral observers, more so the Electoral College, should be interested in viewing or looking up to the one who will not divide opinion. One of the candidates will suffer a crisis. These two, I don't mention. One of them will suffer a crisis in reconciling the party even up to 2028. The NPP at this stage need a party mobilizer to lead the party as a candidate. The party itself was going to suffer crisis post 2024 elections, and especially when they lost miserably. You present the same candidate, you present the same leadership, you don't understand the science of election. If the MPP will be fair to the party, they must self-purge. And if they are going to self-purge, which is self-correction, you understand what I'm trying to say? They must clean the slate, period.
And you have Professor Samuel Adu. He is a political historian. From politics, let's talk health now. And the Municipal Chief Executive for Shamar, Paul Otis Dintu, has confirmed the full construction and completion of the abandoned 100-bed Shamar District Hospital as announced in the 2026 budget. He says that's the preparedness of the traditional authorities of making alternative lands available if need be. And the Western Regional Minister, Joseph Nelson, has also directed the municipal and district chief executive to ensure the district assembly's common fund is used effectively for its intended purposes. And we'll bring you more of this report in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us on the Midday News today on 3FM 92.7. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.
FM.
Accra gets
oil price wars.
At this moment, I want to call for calm and cool heads to prevail. I believe in competition, but I strongly believe in fair competition as well.
Also, Traders Advocacy Group Ghana tagged petitions President John Mahama over transport crisis.
The individual investors who are into transportation should be given the opportunity of at least 50% import waiver for them to bring in more commercial vehicles to augment the fleet of government.
Plus, Gold Board and Gold Coast Refinery to ink landmark partnership for local gold refinery. I am Michael Obodu. Details of these and many other stories coming up shortly. Please don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for your time. Straight into our top story. And the board chairman of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, Gabriel Kumi, has issued an urgent appeal to industry giants Star Oil and Goil, urging them to exercise restraint as a brewing price war threatens to destabilize the downstream petroleum sector. The friction follows the implementation of the National Petroleum Authority's fuel price floor policy, a regulatory measure designed to prevent predatory pricing. Tensions escalated recently when Star Oil reportedly suggested it could drop prices as low as 9 cedis, 50 pesos, undercutting the current price floor if the policy was scrapped. Goil, the state-owned market leader, has pushed back, questioning the sustainability of such aggressive cuts.
At this moment, I want to call for calm and cool heads to prevail. You know, Star Oil and Goil are major players in the industry. The two of them put together controls quite close to 30% of the market. So any disharmony between them negatively impact the industry and impact our consumers as well. Fortunately for us, both of them are members of our board. So we have called for an emergency board meeting at which both parties will be there. And then we are going to address the issue, after which we'll have some communication with MPA as to what the way forward should be. So I will continue to call for calm. I mean, like I said, these are major players in the industry. It's important that we work to bring some peace between them. I believe in competition, but I strongly believe in fair competition as well. We are all friends in the same industry, so I'm sure at the end of the day, at the end of our meeting, we shall have a very clear solution to the problem, and we shall continue to live in peace and harmony in the industry so we can grow the industry to support Mother Ghana.
Gabriel Kumi is the board chairman of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC. Meanwhile, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, has expressed confidence that petrol sales will rise by up to 10% this year, despite growing demand for electric vehicles in Ghana. In 2025, the government introduced a series of tax incentives to encourage the use of electric vehicles, including 8-year import duty exemption from public transport operators, reduced duties for commercial importers, and zero-rated VAT for locally assembled models. These measures have led to a significant increase in EV uptakes. Speaking to 3 Business, COMAC's Chief Executive, Dr. Riversing Opong, said the industry remains optimistic about repeating last year's performance.
Last year, we saw a bit above 10. We saw above 10%. First half of the year already was 17%, which has been the highest so far in record. And if all things being equal, we believe we should be hitting the same 10% roughly within the first half, and within the full year between 7 to 10%. Last year also recorded the highest number of registered EVs, but at the same time we recorded the highest consumption, 17% at the first half of the year, which tells you that the demand for crude oil products is still up.
That was the CEO of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, Dr. Riversing Opong. Now, the Traders Advocacy Group Ghana TAG has issued a formal petition to President John Dramani Mahama, warning that a deteriorating public transportation infrastructure is crippling economic productivity and exploiting the nation's workforce. The petition, which follows recent reports that only 80 out of the 245 Ayalolo buses are currently operational in the capital, describes a systemic failure that has left traders and workers stranded, leading to massive transit delays and commuter exploitation. Let's listen to General Secretary of TAG, Nana Puku.
Transportation of commuters from their houses to the workplaces and then the business centers is becoming a challenge. And a challenge whereby there are so many uncertainties. The individual investors who are into transportation should be given the opportunity of at least 50% import waiver for them to bring in more commercial vehicles to augment the fleet of government, so that areas where these commercial vehicles plow can be accessible to the people over there. We know it's a challenge, but the Transport Ministry, the Committee on Transport, and the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, can easily make this possible to open a window for commercial operators to import commercial vehicles into the system within a period of time.
Nana Puku is the General Secretary of the Traders Advocacy Group Ghana TAG. In a decisive move to bolster Ghana's position in the global bullion market, the Ghana Gold Board is set to sign a strategic gold refining partnership with the Gold Coast Refinery today, Tuesday, January 20, 2026. This underscores government's commitment to its economic reset and industrialization agenda. There is more in the following 3 Business News Desk report.
The agreement marks a pivotal shift from the export of raw gold to high-value refined bullion by leveraging the capacity of the Gold Coast Refinery, the second-largest facility of its kind in Africa. The partnership aims to increase the volume, stimulate employment, and specialize